Hello, my name is Beatrice, and in this video I'll be talking about how I passed the AIA 5.0 project management exam. So this was the second exam that I took after practice management. However, I think that it doesn't matter which one you take first, whether it's practice management and then project management or vice versa. And the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of overlapping information between these two exams. And actually, the first three exams that I took, which were practice management, project management, and then construction and evaluation, share a lot of the same content. And because of this, I was able to test for these three exams within a month time frame. I took practice management first, then 3 weeks later I took project management, and 1 week later I took construction and evaluation. However, I do want to say that I began studying for these exams several months prior to testing. I did not schedule my first exam until I felt comfortable with the content. And from then on, I just took advantage of the momentum. And like I said, because you are tested on very similar content for these three exams, I was able to test within that very short period of time. For me, beginning with these three exams was beneficial because I think that they're a lot easier to study for than the last three. That's because you use one textbook as your main resource, which is the Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice. And this is a very dense book. However, there's an incredible study guide created by Wright, which is what I used to determine which chapters and even pages I needed to study for each of the sections of the exam. Aside from using the Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice, the second resource that I used was the Ballast PPI package, which includes a summary of what you will be tested on, as well as practice questions and a practice exam. Now let's talk about studying strategies. Most of us just passively study, and that includes reading, listening to videos, or highlighting. And this is not very efficient. Aside from reading the material, we need to incorporate active studying strategies. And active studying strategies refers to testing yourself or just forcing your brain to work a little bit harder to retrieve the information. And because of that, I incorporated practice questions into my studying technique. And like I mentioned, I use the Ballast PPI package to incorporate practice questions, but I also use other resources. And this is beneficial because you're actively studying. You have to retrieve the information from your brain to be able to answer the questions, and also it prepares you for the exam, because we have to remember that these exams are timed, and being able to answer questions as quickly as possible is beneficial just for you to be able to go through the entire exam. I began reviewing the AIA 5.0 handbook from the NCARB website. As you can see, project management has 5 sections. This document has all the information of all 6 exams. When you scroll down to the project management section, you see the details. You have 75 questions, of which only 68 are scored. You have 2 case studies, and you have 3 hours to answer all the questions. So a little bit more than 2 minutes per question. But remember that the case studies are more complex than the multiple choice questions. And you have a maximum of about 59 multiple choice questions. So if you average a minute per question, you should have approximately an hour and a half for the case studies and to review any other flag questions. So as we scroll down, this part is important. It gives you the percentages of what you'll see on the exam. So for project management, section 3, contracts, is the most important section. You'll see between 19 to 23 questions. So almost a third of the entire exam is on contracts. As we scroll down, you see a description of each section and its objective. Then as we scroll down some more, you'll see some sample questions, and I suggest that you try to answer these without looking at the answer first, just to be able to test yourself and see where you are. After reviewing the AIA Handbook, I began studying the material. I use the Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice as my main resource, and I pair this with Narmour Wright's study guide, which, as you can see, it's extremely detailed. The document is 4 pages long for the project management exam, and it even highlights certain areas that you should pay close attention to. So you see on the left hand side under ARE 5.0 the objective, and each objective comes from the ARE handbook. Then you see the chapter that is relevant to that objective, and then the pages where that information is located. Alright, so I was in the process of adding the link to the study guide, but it seems like it no longer works. So here are screenshots. I will also be leaving the link to Narmour's Wright website in the description in case that it becomes available in the future. Next, we have Michael Hanahan. He's an attorney trained as an architect, and he's a professor at the University of Illinois in Chicago. He published his professional practice lectures on his website, and I did listen to the majority of them, and I found that the ones on the AIA documents are extremely beneficial. He explains very well in very simple terms, and he goes through each of the sections, and he even gives examples of his own professional experience. He's included the audio file as well as the presentation slides for reference. I'll leave 2 links to his audio files in the description below. I just want to show some of my note taking. I did go through the process of studying by first reviewing the ARE handbook, and from there I broke it down by section. So I did write the objective of each section, and then I did note taking based on the study guide by Narmour Wright. And just additional things that I found useful was the conversion of yard to feet and how many square feet are in an acre. And last, I just took notes of the AIA documents from Michael Hanahan's lecture. I want to emphasize incorporating practice questions into your study routine. I use Balance PPI because it's one of the approved resources by NCARB, but they have several others. And I also use other free resources online, and I'll be leaving the links to those in the description below. Alright, this is all for now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them. I hope this video helps, and good luck studying.